Recession is defined as a negative economic growth for 2 consecutive quarters. It is also a contraction in business cycles, which leads to a slowdown in economic activities. Macroeconomic indicators like the gross domestic product and investment spending drop, while unemployment rates rise. Today, we look at efforts by the government and the private sector to cushion the effects of recession and the feasibility of such policies. Welcome to The Big Story. I am Mary Alale Yusuf, standing in for Ini Thompson, your regular host. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, unemployment rates rose by 13.3% in the second quarter of 2016, reaching the highest levels since 2009. About 1.5 million people entered the job market in the first quarter of the year, raising the unemployment rate to 12.1% from 10.4% in Q4 of 2015. In August of 2016, the federal government announced that Nigeria was officially in recession. Since then, experts and institutions have proffered possible solutions to the economic malaise. The National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies, KURU in Jos, is one of such institutions. Nigeria's economy being in recession is no longer news. What matters to the people now is steps being taken by the government to make sure that there is quick recovery and growth of the economy. And that's the reason for this meeting organized by the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies, KURU, in Jos, Plateau State. In attendance are economists, policy analysts, corporate leaders in the banking and financial sector, and the academia. The chairman of the Senate Committee on Government Affairs sets the tone for the conference, challenging the government to come up with practicable solutions that would take the country out of the economic woods.
I have no doubt in my mind that given the crop of technocrats, bureaucrats, and professionals assembled here, the suggestions that will emanate will give a quantum leap from our current economic situation to recovery and position us for steady growth.
Some economic watchers share their views on what should be done to revamp the economy.
Let's go back, sit down. There are too many small policies that are actually very good. We need to put all of those policies together across ministries, MDAs, departments, whatever it is, and create one holistic document that is a national plan for Nigeria to exit recession, not just to exit with sustained growth that will be planned for 20-25 years. That is what we need to do.
These things have to be targeted to productive sectors, because it's not just saying, okay, we pump money into the economy. If they are not targeted towards increasing the productive capacity of the country, then we will not be able to get out of a recession.
There are things we must do now. We can raise capital internally as well as internationally to cushion the deficits that we face currently. We should also rationalize many of the key sectors of this economy to make sure that they function better.
As the government continues to seek lasting solutions to the lingering economic challenges, experts are appealing to the federal government to harmonize and coordinate various agencies to address the economic recession in the country. One of the promises of the current administration is to provide jobs for Nigeria's teeming unemployed youths. Over a year and a half after the promise was made, the federal government has announced the creation of an initial 200,000 jobs. Government officials plan to work with the private sector to make it a success.
This government is partnership with the private sector, unleashing the private sector, getting a more efficient and more competitive private sector, so that we have a private sector that can grow this economy, that can produce things here in Nigeria. We move from an importing, consuming country to a producing nation. If you remember that we launched our Made in Nigeria campaign, it's all part of that exercise. So the private sector is key. And what we want is to empower the private sector, make it easy to do business, grow the economy, and also look after the vulnerable, so that the growth will be an inclusive growth. We will not leave anybody behind, because in the past, some of our growth, poverty still did not reduce. We want growth, we want to reduce poverty.
The job creation strategy of this government is private sector led. It's demand driven. We've had many, even for me as spearheading the job creation unit, we're in very strong cahoots with the Nigerian Economic Summit Group. As you also know, job creation was one of the roundtable sessions in the last summit. So we have strong collaborations ongoing with the private sector, where we're looking at priority sectors like agriculture, ICT. You've seen a lot of what has happened in the technology space in the last few months with the Aso Villa Demo Day, with a few of the whole technology programs that the government has sponsored together with private sector. So agri, ICT, construction, retail and renewable energy, obviously the mines and steel are priority sectors that we're working very actively with. However, in the midst of this, it was also very clear that the government needed to put his mouth where his money is. And that's really what the social investment program is about, which is really to stem the tide. What you and I would agree is that when you have the private sector development in the larger economy, it will take some time, especially in a country now where we are battling with recession and dwindling revenues.
The social investment program is designed such that recruits will not be displaced too far from their areas of residence, and for this, states must be involved.
We are mobilizing them within their local government of residence. What it therefore means, is that if, right now you don't have to say you are moving somewhere to go pay rent. What we have also even advised the focal persons in each state is, again, to ensure that they are mobilized within proximity of their community. And if we know the way Nigeria is,